back with Q to talk about episodes 7 and 8 of Little Brother. Some of your initial thoughts. I think the eviction episode we could probably go over quickly, but any thoughts on the 2 episodes overall?
Let's just get into it.
Alright, well, Nick versus Liana in the vote. You know, Nick, he got a unanimous vote against him. The poor kid. Fanguy was kind of the only person in his corner, and Fanguy said he didn't have enough time to try and rally the votes. You know, he had a conversation with Meg and Alex, but not enough.
Yeah. Which I think just goes to show that this was a good nomination by Mike. It's a unanimous vote. Nick never had a chance in this at all. And then, you know, when you're trying to talk game and price check, it's probably not going to go well for you. So
yeah, Nick had a lot of disadvantages in that vote, especially being at work, and he's already not the best in a social game. So yeah. Do you really have any other thoughts from that episode? I mean, Liana, well, we'll get to the HOH in a second, but Liana, anything from her pitches that worked out?
I don't really remember much from her pitches, but I will say that she's in such a good spot after playing such an awful HOH round that, like, to get a unanimous decision still for your opponent, all Liana has to do now is just, you know, go back under the radar. I did note, though, I guess, that she'd sparked some paranoia with, was it Dazed? She's been planting little seeds with Dazed to get him to go against Fanguy. And I don't even know if it's, like, strategical, if she's, like, trying to bring out Dazed's paranoia, or if she's just, you know, disseminating information very poorly, which she's shown in several episodes now. But it is working, so
I feel like it's a combination of both. I do think she's doing this purposefully for sure. So then we get the HOH. It is Price is Right type challenge. Liana also volunteered to not be HOH, so she gets a power.
Mm-hmm. Although, I will say she did get the power, but I think it came at a slight cost compared to when Dazed and Monet did it, because she had to assign the teams of 3, which I don't know if she's being strategic, because it's kind of hard to figure it out with Liana. Like, I feel like her head's really in the game, but then other times she does really stupid shit, and I'm like, can't be in the game. But she did arrange the teams very nicely and very strategically. No, strategically is a word. Strategically is not a word. Wait, are those the same?
You just said the same thing, yes.
Strategically?
And strategically.
You
meant to say strategical and strategically, right?
No, I think I just put the emphasis on the wrong part of the word. You hoes got me confused. Let the record show strategical is not a word. Do not say it anymore. Moving on, she arranged the teams very nicely, and I think it worked. She got one of her closest allies to become HOH, so it ended up working in her advantage, but I will say that I think that could have easily been a downside for her if she hadn't played it so well.
Yeah. Monet ends up winning in the end. It came down to Monet, Meg, and Daze. I feel like all 3 of them tried to throw it at the end. Monet ends up the winner, though, and isn't very happy to be HOH.
Yeah, and it reflects in how she carried it out. Awful.
Monet also, like, going into this HOH, she's kind of been wanting Aspen to go. She's been saying she was hoping Nav would win the HOH and they could put that in Nav's head to get out Aspen, because that's what we wanted to target anyway, Aspen and Dee Dee. Do you think as HOH that would have been too soon for her to pull?
Are you asking me if I think it's too soon to put Aspen on the block?
Yes.
Come on now.
Even within the Matriarchy Alliance?
Fuck the Matriarchy. It's not real. Aspen already turned on the Matriarchy with the first nomination. They're so dumb. She had the perfect leverage to be like, listen, Aspen, I know that you're trying to put the fucking dot vote on me, and I know that you were the one that turned on the Matriarchy, therefore, you're up. I don't understand where the confusion was.
Well, I mean, I guess, you know, it's not right for you because you don't care about who you're going up against in these games, but, you know, when you're in Alliance, it's kind of like, do I really want to be the one to go against all these people?
But Aspen Aspen already did it. The matriarchy can still sustain itself without Aspen.
They can, because then they're down another extra number. Because Dee said that they need to maybe wait a little longer until the numbers are a little more even between men and women.
Okay, but how good is... First of all, how good is the matriarchy when you've had a woman up as HOH, so she can't vote, Leanna wasn't able to vote, Monet won't be able to vote, and Aspen is unreliable. So there really is no alliance. You might as well just say fuck that alliance and pull in other people.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of right. That's kind of what they're doing. I feel like Monet's trying to make it more her, Dee and Leanna right now, and kind of saying, no Megan, Aspen.
Okay, but then she's still playing for an alliance.
Yeah.
So the matriarchy is dead. Just lean into it. You guys couldn't even sustain yourselves for one HOH vote. It's done.
True.
It's done.
Well, Monet's HOH also, it's a little lax. It's a lot of anybody could come in and out as they please. A little, what is it?
Blase.
I'm talking about the drag queen, but initial thoughts on her HOH before we get really into it.
I'm really tired of Monet thinking everybody in this game is honest and chill and that they passed the vibe check. Literally, all you have to do is just have one chat with Monet, and she's like, honestly, you're super chill, like, you're a really honest player. All you have to do is tell Monet, I identify as being an honest player. And Monet's like, and I acknowledge you as such. And that's what you are.
You're not.
And that's her problem.
Yeah.
Her reading on people is just so bad. And I really hope that this is just unique to a game sense and that this is not how she operates in her day-to-day life. Because, dear God, you have got awful people in your life if that's the case.
This is similar to the winner of Big Brother 24, Taylor. I felt like she was way too nice to people who were extremely ridiculous and mean and rude and racist towards her. So hopefully both of them aren't like that in real life. But in a game sense,
I mean, are you foreshadowing that Monet's going to win? And if that's the case, then I'm not going to drag her so hard because I don't want to be wrong in life.
It's possible.
There's no way. There's no way Monet wins this game.
I mean, all it takes is a killer social game.
Is her social game even good, though?
I mean, it's good in the sense of, like, getting along well with people.
Bro, but no, that's not true. Part of a social dynamic, like, part of socialization is being able, which is a word, is being able to read when people are working for you or working against you. And Monet doesn't have a good read on the game.
I mean,
like someone like Dee would. Like Dee can detect bullshit instantly, except for, Daze's, 2001 POS comment. She can detect bullshit easily, and that is what plays into her good social game. So do you have a good social game if your judgment of people is ass? No.
I mean, you're right about that. I feel like her social game isn't so good at, like, furthering her game and getting to the end.
Then that's not a good social game.
But, I mean, it's good in the sense that if she gets to the end against somebody who the jury's a little iffy about, she could easily get a winning vote.
I hesitate to call that a social game. That's just, you suck less than the other person.
Mm. You touched upon it a little bit here, and, you said you gave Dee high up in the last video. In this episode, I mean, on a game sense, she's probably still in a good spot, but, the 2000 POS, the learning Italian but not speaking it, a little... Monet's target seems to be Fanguy. Completely Fanguy, at least. That's the one thing she's not wavering on in this episode, is that Fanguy is her target. How do you feel about Fanguy being her target?
I think that out of all of the people in the game that Monet should have awful... This is coming from someone who wanted Fanguy to be tangential. Out of all the people in the game that Monet has bad vibes about, Fanguy is not at the top of that list.
Who should be at the top?
Alex! Who she literally said, insert the clip here. She's like, I don't really know why these people can't stand Alex. Like, I just don't get what he did. He's an honest, forthright player to me, and I always know where his head is. She did say that.
She did say that, followed by I don't really talk to him, though.
I don't agree with the Fanguy nom. I mean, okay, if all it takes for Monet is to have a conversation with her, and Fanguy literally just has not managed to have a one-on-one with her, then I guess you're just shit out of luck. But do I think that nomination is founded in anything reasonable and logical and like based in strategy? Absolutely not. No.
I mean, do you think her nomination here has anything to do with her kind of trusting Didi and Liana the most? And Liana wants Fanguy out of here, basically. And probably Fanguy and Mike on the block, because Liana said in the conversation that if you don't put them up together, they might take each other down again. Because Monet said her gut was telling her to put up Fanguy and Aspen, but...
Yes, the Aspen thing was the only good call that she could have potentially made in this round. I think that, these games in general are all about building a resume, right? And I think that it would honestly look better for her to... Well, I mean, like, you have to plead your case to a jury, do you not? Mm-hmm. So if you have some nice moves and moments to demonstrate when you were being strategical, then that's building a resume. And so I think that it would have been better for her resume to just say, I'm targeting Fanguy because a close ally of mine is targeting Fanguy, versus this, the North Node is trine Jupiter but squaring my Mars, and so Fanguy has to go.
Touche on that. I don't really agree with the whole you need a resume at the end to win, but...
I mean, I'm not saying you need one because it all comes down to the jury, right? But I'm saying that you go in with the intention of it, right? Like, you want to be making moves, and that should be... If you're a game player, that should be in the back of your mind.
Yeah. She's telling everybody that her 2 nominations are going to be Fanguy and Mike. She literally tells every single person except Fanguy, Mike, and Alex that her nominations are going to be Fanguy and Mike. But then Mike comes in, and I guess bulldozers are over, as Meg would say, but, what did you think of that conversation between Mike and Monet?
Very well played by Mike. That is the difference between someone that knows how to play this game and someone that doesn't. Okay? Because Mike, I don't even think he bulldozed her. I don't think that he was aggressive at all. I think that he laid out his case beautifully. I think that he posed very logical questions. Why didn't you just ask me, Monet, not to put Fanguy up? I don't feel indebted to him. Such a valid point. He also, I think my most logical question would have been, okay, Monet, so you want to put me up in order to ensure that Fanguy goes out, but what happens when Fanguy wins the veto?
Yeah.
I don't think he bulldozed her at all. I think he just revealed very logical flaws in an illogical plan.
Yeah. I think Mike did a good job.
He did an excellent job, and I think that he almost, sorry to cut you off, he almost used her as he made an example of her, because I think something that Mike has really been alluding to in this game is that he wants just the threat of him being put up. He's like, I want my reputation to precede me, and I want people to fear me and fear putting me up. And by having Monet literally go around and tell every single person, I'm gonna put Mike up, and then you come in, change your nom in the last 20 minutes and say, I fear Mike and his retaliation, so I'm gonna change my nomination. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss.
Mike is playing the kind of game he wants to play. I mean, you can't take that away from him. Also in this conversation, Mike, maybe not the best, in my opinion. He's throwing a lot of people under the bus. I mean, that's what he has to do to not be on the block. But, in his HOH, he made all of these alliances, and now he already has to throw him under the bus.
But see, I think that, as Fanguy would say, this is a game of information. And see, Liana, maybe take some notes, because that is how you selectively reveal information. He literally was like, okay, well, your boys, Nav and Alex, when I was HOH, they wanted me to put you up as a nominee. That was well played, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, there are so many alliances, and all of this game is so fluid, and everyone's tangential to everybody.
True.
That none of these alliances are real. And I think that because the GameBot Alliance, as you've called it, is so new, and also because of the nature of the GameBot Alliance, you have very logical players who never lie. Nav would never tell a lie. I think that they would respect Mike doing what he had to do, and I don't think they would take it personally at all. So I think that was a well-informed decision to turn on that alliance.
Good point, for sure.
This is a Mike Stan account. Mike did a damn good job.
That was not Didi anymore. Yesterday you left off with a saying. Well, the last time you left off with saying D Leon.
No, D Leon, you're out.
So
That's over. That's canceled.
That was
It's
the
not
word I
a
wanted to say
D
right
Leon hate account, but we don't stand. He's not doing enough right now. Dee, she's doing alright. It's a Mike and Dee stand account. But Mike, he did the damn thing this episode. He did a good fucking job.
How about any thoughts on the conversation between Monet, Fan Guy, and then just kind of telling Alex at the last minute, hey, you're going up?
I assume that this chat happened right before the nomination, the Fan Guy. I think that if Fan Guy had been just an hour earlier, it would have been an Alex Nav nomination. You could tell that Monet, when she said, Fan Guy, I'm putting you up, she wasn't talking to Fan Guy. She was talking to her other twin because she knew that she was going to change her fucking mind. And she was like, I have to put one of my feet down and say that Fan Guy's going to go.
As somebody with a Libra moon myself, I can definitely sympathize with Monet and her lack of wanting to make a decision, how hard it can be to make decisions. I feel you, Monet.
It's not even, I don't think that's her issue at all, though, because she went around and decisively told every single person, it's going to be Fan Guy and Mike.
Yeah, but I feel like she did that after a conversation with Leanna and Dee, because kind of knowing that's what Leanna wanted.
If you were going to be indecisive, okay, so then put it on your ally.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I guess you could kind of do that. But she is the HOH. This is why she didn't want the HOH, though, because she has a Libra moon and doesn't want to make these decisions.
Leanna, please stop telling people that you know information, but you're not going to share it. Just stop. And Monet, get better judge of character. Seriously. It's just fucking embarrassing at this point.
Let's do ups and downs.
Let's do ups and downs.
Let me see your list.
You're just gonna go by my list?
Yep, I like to go tit for tat. We'll start with Leanna.
As much as I've dragged Leanna this episode, I will say she's up.
Why is that?
Because she's getting her ally to do all of her dirty work, or at least 50% of it. Although, was the Mike nomination Leanna as well?
Yeah, she wanted them both up in case one wanted
Oh,
to
that's
beat
right, that's right. So then she got 50% of what she wanted in terms of nominations. Her name's not really floating around, and really the only person that's going to leave this HOH round fucked is Monet. And she's got all of these advantages, so she'll be fine too. And that's another thing, Leanna got an advantage. I did want to talk about that, was just that, how serendipitous, if you will, that Leanna volunteers to not be HOH and weren't dazed and Monet literally just talking about potentially pulling Leanna in.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was like really interesting and worked out really nicely. So overall, Leanna's up. Good round for her.
How about Mike?
Mike, I mean, you see it. I have 4 arrows. Mike is up. Cardi B, if it's up, then it's stuck. I'm interested to see if the threats hold any water. Because, see, a bitch like me, I'm here for it, and I love what Mike is doing. But if I'm playing the game, I'm like, okay, and I'm going to put your ass up every time if I get the chance. Like, that wouldn't scare me. So I'm interested to see, as Leanna would say, who's going to play scared and who's not? Who's going to actually give a fuck if Mike is threatening? Who cares?
Who do you think won't play scared?
I think DeLeon has some potential. I think this is kind of a pussy cast.
How about Monet?
Damn.
Do you want to expand?
No!
She's the new Aspen this week.
No one can ever be the new Aspen.
Why?
Aspen. The only reason I didn't put Aspen, let's just go to Aspen. The only reason this hoe is not down is because she got very little FaceTime.
Yeah. I mean, do you think now, with her surviving this week with an ally in the matriarchy as not wanting to put her up, she can try and fix her game?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Because she's potentially, I mean, there could still be a renom, but like she is kind of escaping last week's messiness this week.
Which is because they're playing scared, which is why I kind of think that Mike's threats will hold waters. Because, you know, a lot of these people like Leanna, they're like, oh, I don't play scared. If you don't play scared, put Aspen up. Put her up. If you don't play scared, you don't need the fucking cover. You're talking to the Alliance Slayer, baby. You don't need the protection of an alliance. She betrayed you hoes last week. Put her up.
Dee
Dee, I have neutral, but she's still doing well in the game.
Nav,
I have up. I have Nav up because Nav, unlike Fan Guy, just had the benefit of having a conversation with Monet right before she won HOH, telling her, listen, I'm honest. I think I'm honest. And Monet was like, Nav is honest. And then literally the next confessional, Nav's like, I love that I have this honest reputation so that when I start lying to her, she'll never suspect it.
Deleon,
I have neutral, but, I wish Deleon would make some moves. But also, I guess, why?
True. Although you might start to see Deleon come out.
Okay.
How about Alex?
I left Alex blank because I was certain that Monet was probably, at the time I was making this list, I was like, she's probably going to end up putting Alex, in which case he would be down. But I was going to put him neutral because he almost finessed his way out of this round, and then Mike came in and changed that whole ordeal.
How about Fan Guy?
I mean, Fan Guy, again, he's down for obvious reasons that he's a nom. But I did like Fan Guy's approach to him being a nom, which is that, hey, if there's a tie, water under the bridge, as long as he saved me.
Do you think Fan Guy's doing a good job trying not to be as paranoid this round? And he's saying, if I go out, I'm trying not to panic.
As paranoid this round?
Yes, he's trying to fix that paranoia that we've seen in the beginning of the game.
I mean, I would say his paranoia is what got him here, so he's just kind of... I feel like this was a self-fulfilling prophecy for Fan Guy. Fan Guy was like, people like Alex and Mike, I'm the same as them. Well, if you just didn't identify as that, if you didn't identify as such, maybe you wouldn't be sitting here. Fan Guy, it's listen. Lesson 101 from Monet, the power of the tongue. If you just don't claim it, it won't be true.
That's true. Which Fan Guy has the power of the tongue, but I guess he's using it to be more negative.
I guess.
Meg
is neutral, but she's like Dee. She's doing well. I guess she could potentially be in a hot spot because, I think that Fan Guy is one of her closest allies in the game and could be potentially going out. But, I mean, even then, she has all of these other alliances, but maybe not because, the matriarchy is not real. I don't fucking know, but Meg's doing fine.
Lastly, Dazed.
Dazed, I have up. Why do I have Dazed up? I'm gonna have to think long and hard about why I did that.
I mean, I guess in this episode he tried to put it out in front of publicly that he's not working with Mike and Fan Guy.
That's why I had Dazed up. Dazed is up because, like Leanna, he also almost had his dream nomination, which was Fan Guy and Mike. And then I guess Alex, he's not working with Alex.
Kinda. They have the little Dazed Alex Aspen thing.
Dazed is up because no one's saying his name. He isn't super allowing paranoia to dictate his moves, but, if he chooses to believe what Leanna is saying, that Fan Guy's coming after him, this only works to his advantage. And this also really works to Leanna's advantage, again, which is that Dazed is probably going to vote Fan Guy to go if he doesn't win the veto. So, hopefully it won't be another, Dot Alex vote.
In which way?
Meaning that it's going to be close and potentially tied. It's just frustrating, like, when they pick these players that are, like, so polarizing that it's just not clear. Like, the Nick Leanna vote was clear. Nick, you're out here fucking shopping or working while you're playing the game. That's not gonna fly. And you're also a rat. So, like, that was just a clear, obvious vote. And I feel like even if the Fan Guy Mike nomination had stuck, there's way too many variables, which is that you have the two alleged compies going up, so there's a very high probability that one of them can just win the win the power of veto and take themselves down. And then also, I don't think that it would have been that cut and dry for Fanguy or Mike, where it was unanimous either direction. So,
I mean, I disagree with her. Keep nominating Massey like this. Keep putting polarizing people on the block because it makes for better TV when there's two polarizing people.
Right, it makes for better TV, but from like a... Well, see, you've never actually been in the position of playing any of your games, so I'm speaking from the perspective of a player.
Well, I get you're speaking strategically, but...
Yes, strategically.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Why is nobody putting Deleon up?
Because he's so under the radar right now. Why would they?
So then put his ass up. Put him up.
Monet has no reason to put him up.
You want to solidify that your nomination goes home. Deleon is ass at challenges. Put him up.
I disagree that Monet should be the one to do that. Maybe Mike last week.
All I'm saying is if you're gonna use this logic of I really want to ensure that my nom goes home, and I also, want to be transparent with my ally that, hey, I'm putting you up because, I think you're going to be fine. Then put somebody that is actually going to be fine up. Stop playing scared.
Well, it's still early. Maybe we will see less scared gameplay coming up. Any final thought?
I'll be happy when this HOH is over.
Well, there's still 2 more episodes.
Dear God.
So, until tomorrow night, this is all for now.